sports saw the contribution and performance of sports writers in promoting the sports. There is an equal share of contribution from the sports persons for the demand for the newspapers and the TV viewers. From the days of stunning performance of hockey wizard Dhyan Chand, Milka Singh, MP Ganesh, PT Usha, Sunil Gavaskar, Kapil Dev, Sachin Tendulkar, Vishwanathan Anand, and the present ones like Mahendra Singh Dhoni, Virat Kohli, PV Sindhu, Duti Chand, and our and Puama, Sana have contributed to the demand for the newspapers and other sources of media. Am I right? Hence, media and sports are the faces of one coin. It is the need of the hour that the sports journalist should act as a catalyst for change. This is my sincere request with the sports writers. They should act as a catalyst uh, in related to the sports and physical education. Hope that Mr. PK Ajit, Speaker of the Day, will surely enlighten us in this regard. With these
Okay.
few words, I thank the organizers for giving me as a wonderful
ಇನ್ನು ನಮ್ಮದು
share
ಕಿಶೋರ್ ಕುಮಾರ್, ಅಜಿತ್ ಕುಮಾರ್,
about
ಬೇರೆ
the
ಯಾರ್ದು ಇಲ್ಲ.
impact of
149 ಜನ ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ.
on sports in this national webinar. Thank you, one and all. Once again, I thank all for the opportunity. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Now, it's my pleasure to introduce the resource person of this webinar, Mr. P.K. Ajit Kumar. He is a senior assistant editor of The Hindu. He has 25 years of experience in reporting from across the country and abroad. His reports, features, and interviews appear regularly in The Hindu, widely regarded as the best English newspaper in India, and Sports Star magazine. He has covered major sporting events like World Chess Championships, international cricket matches, and the IPL. He also writes on films, music, books, and culture. He is a Kerala State Award winner for reporting. Now, without further ado, we will turn over to the resource person, Mr. P.K. Ajit Kumar. Dear participants, after the presentation, we will take a few minutes for questions, so please be sure to type your questions into the chat box. Over to you, sir.
Hello.
Yeah, hello.
Yeah, are you able to hear me?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Good morning, everyone, and it's such a pleasure meeting all of you through this webinar. I would have loved to be there in person to talk to you while attending from your campus, but unfortunately, due to the difficult times that we are in, we have to do with Zoom meetings, which we normally do in circumstances like this. I'm happy that your college is conducting a seminar on sports journalism, the impact of mass media or journalism on sports. Sports, as you know, is something that we actively engage in, many of us. And even if some of us are not active sportsmen or sportswomen, we still follow the sport, don't we? Most of us do. And how do we follow sports? Be it through the newspapers, reading the newspapers, sports pages on the newspapers, or watching TV. So I'll tell you exactly how do you get to read a report. And since this is, since many of you may not be familiar with how a newspaper or a TV channel functions, I think I could enlighten you a little bit on that. So before that, let's see why sports. The speaker just before me, the keynote speaker, Dr. Kishore, spoke very well about the importance of journalism in sports and how disappointed he is with the kind of reports, at least with the kind of reports that he has come across in papers. And he has also spoken about some great journalists that he has a lot of respect for, like Mr. Rajan Bala, easily one of the finest cricket writers that India has produced. So why sports? Earl Warren is a former Chief Justice of the United States, a politician as well. He once said, I go to the sports pages first. That's where I will read about the accomplishment of man, and not on the front page, which he said reflected the failures. There is a lot of truth in it, isn't there? So when you look at the sports pages, you will see a lot of great news about the triumphs of the humankind. You would see somebody clocking just over 9 seconds to break the 100-meter record. You would see a batsman scoring 100, another 100 or a triple 100. So it's all about human achievement in sports that you could see. It is not that there are no negative stories in sports pages. There are, and there should be negative stories as well, as we will see why we should cover all aspects of sports. But generally, on the sports pages, you would see man's accomplishments. And that's one of the reasons why maybe more people go to the sports pages first, as Mr. Warren used to do. And now, as far as sports is concerned, I'm glad that the Department of Physical Education is conducting a seminar like this, because India is not a country where sport is being practiced by everyone. Very few people are actively involved in sports. We would rather like to watch sport rather than play in it, rather than play any game. So there are many people, many great sports fans who have never in their life played any sports at all. I feel physical education department and the physical education teachers of today, or the students who are training to be the teachers of physical education tomorrow, could play a major part in getting that, sending that message across. I'm happy that your university has made a physical education as an optional paper. Every school and college should have a physical education teacher. There is no question about that. But unfortunately, there are schools and colleges across the country these days you could see which don't even have a ground, which is something very disappointing. There should be a rule that every institute, every education institution should have a playground, at least a ground, if not indoor courts. Because I have seen from close quarters how infrastructure helps a sports. Without infrastructure, you cannot expect a sports to grow. So what's the use of having a physical education instructor at a school or a college if there is no ground or no indoor courts to practice and learn the game? So let's hope in the future something is done about it. And I hope, as the keynote speaker said, maybe more reports in the newspapers should focus on that aspect as well. Because to be healthy, you need to play some sport. That's ideal. Of course, you can work out in the gym, but that can get boring after some time. So how many of us, who registered at the gym go through the regime entirely? We don't. We may go there for a few days, but then stop it. But if you play some sport, be it football, badminton, or cricket, that is something you like to do. So you would love to continue doing that. You will get a lot of enjoyment as well as the exercise. So this is where I feel physical education instructors can play a major role. So coming back to journalism in sports. So what you see every morning is a report of a certain match. Take for instance the IPL. So how do you get that report? And why do you need a report? Every serious newspaper will have a sports department in which there will be specialists. The keynote speaker was earlier talking about, about the need of having sports reporters who have specialized knowledge in it. We have, there are reporters of every serious newspaper every newspaper in the country or across the world has a sports department, and that sports department has reporters, and among those reporters, there are many reporters who specialize on certain sports. So for these important events like be the IPL or the World for Football World Cup or World Chess Championship or World Hockey Championship, it is specialists who go there. So you are assured of a good analytical report from somebody who knows the game and who has been following the game, who has been writing on the game for a while. So so how does a sports reporter cover a match? Of course, the organization that you're working for, your sports editor there will assign a reporter for a particular match or a tournament. So you will go there, you will have a press box, you will sit there, you could watch the entire match from the press box, and you could normally they will have a lot of facilities like connectivity, the PowerPoints and all, so you could file the report from there itself. So then how do we file the reports? The essence here is speed. When the IPL match is around, well, I could see some questions how one could become a sports reporter. I will come to that a little later after I finish. I think Rohini asked me that question. Rohini, I will definitely get back to you. But let me introduce the elements of sports reporting to begin with. So I was telling you about how we send this, how you get to read a report in the morning. So the thing is that, as I said, we'll have to watch the full match. We have to do it from the press box. And there are, as I said, enough facilities to send the report from the venue itself. If there isn't, you have to go back to your hotel room. Because normally you'll be touring, for major sports. You'll have to go back to your hotel room and file it. Normally you won't get time for that, especially for a match like IPL, for a tournament like IPL. IPL, it ends about 11:30 or 11:45. And you have just about 5 or 10 minutes to file your report. That is, of course, that is a lot of pressure, but that's also the thrill of being a sports reporter. The ability to meet the deadline. So you have, in about 5 minutes, you have to write a 400-word report, which is true, which is readable, and which educates the reader. So the reader would have watched the entire match on the previous night, right, on TV. So as a reporter, you should be able to give something more to the reader when he reads your report in the morning. So you could analyze the game a bit. You could see something that is happened right in front of your eyes, which you cannot see on the TV. I'll remember a couple of instances while I covered the IPL last year for the Hindu. So I was following the Rajasthan Royals mostly last year. So 2 matches there involved a couple of strange incidents. One involving Ravi Ashwin, the Indian spinner. Then the other involving MS Dhoni. The Ashwin Dhoni incident, you remember how Ashwin ran Butler out from the bowler's end, which is normally referred to as Mankading someone. It is named after the legendary Indian all-rounder Vinu Mankad, who was in his time the best all-rounder in the world. So there are many people, including cricketers like Sunil Gavaskar, who have taken exception to terming that dismissal after Mankad. They say it's an insult to the great Indian all-rounder. So it happened late in the night, but my office decided to do a special story, a special report on that. So what we did was I had to write something on separately. So you may see what we call in box in journalism. You will see the main report. Somewhere near you could see somebody, a few columns in a box. That we call a box story. So I did a story on that, how Ashwin ran Butler out, and I gave some background information about how one bowler did not choose to do this. Because many people argue that it is second spirit of cricket. Cricket is one game, where a lot of significance is given to the way the sport is played. not just the rules. It's called the spirit of cricket. That's why there is a usage. When you do something that is not considered proper, you call it's not cricket. So there was one instance in a World Cup once involving Courtney Walsh and Salim Jaffer. Courtney Walsh, the great West Indian fast bowler, and Salim Jaffer, the lower order Pakistan batsman. So in a very tight match, Walsh had the opportunity to run Jaffer out, but he did not do that. He just warned Jaffer. So I was able to recall that, and I wrote that in my report. So that is how, as I said, you could give additional information to the reader, but as a sports reporter, you simply don't have the time. Since I write a lot of other stuff besides sports on culture, these big features in interviews, there I have time. If it's a big feature or an interview, I can write it over a couple of days. But in sport, you don't. But while doing live sports reporting, you don't get hardly any time. So it's such a big challenge for a sports reporter to come up with a good report in such a short span of time. So definitely, as sports reporter, and the sports pages enrich sport in many ways. And talking of sports department, so they are also working under a lot of pressure. The reporter, how, I don't know how many of you have an idea of generally how a newspaper works. We have, there are different departments like editorial, advertisement, and circulation. The editorial people mean the reporters and sub-editors. So we are the ones who write the stories and who edit it and present you in a readable, enjoyable format. There are people in the circulation department who sell the paper, who go out, meet the people, and make them buy the paper. Then there is the advertisement department as well. So they bring in the advertisement revenue. So they get the ads for you. So it is because of ads, that you are able to buy the paper for the price that you are getting, maybe 7 or 6 rupees. If there was no advertisement, the cost of the paper would have gone up to about 20 or 30 rupees. So that's why, there are some readers who complain that there is too much advertisement in the newspaper, but without advertisement, you cannot run a newspaper these days. And that's also the reason why you see a lot of ads, between breaks and during sports telecasts. So coming back to the editorial department of the newspaper, so we are the ones who bring out the news. So the reporter goes out and notes the sports, whatever beat we have. Generally, as I said, every serious newspaper has a sports department, especially the English newspapers has a sport department. It's a large department. It's run by under the leadership of a sports editor. Then there is a sports desk. They are the ones who edit reports and send it. Send it on the page. Then the press, print it and give it in the morning. So these people, the people at the desk, they are called, the sub-editors. So I send the report to my desk. So they will read it. If there are mistakes, they will correct it. They will give it an attractive headline. So they also don't get hardly any time, especially during an event like IPL or a World Cup, which is held late in the night, according to Indian Standard Time. So this is how generally a newspaper works and the sports department functions. And why sports reporting? Is it only for to report the great things about great achievement of a human being, as Earl Warren used to say? No, it isn't. So there are many reports that may not look great on the paper. I mean, that may not reflect positively on the individual that is being referred to. But those stories, the keynote speaker, Dr. Kishore, was earlier talking about great scams, how Commonwealth scam was broken by the media, how it managed even to send a couple of politicians to jail, which we normally don't see in India. There have also been many great stories like match fixing, doping. So a sports reporter can do quite a lot, in fact. I'll tell you one example from my own experience. Years ago, when I joined the Hindu here in Kozhikode in northern Kerala, I went to cover a national junior handball championship. And I'm sure since you are involved with sports, most of you know that there are grants from central government to run this tournament, especially the age group junior tournaments. So when I went to cover this National Junior Handball Championship, I was appalled to see the conditions there. It was run in a proper indoor stadium. The city has only one indoor stadium. It was being run there. The facilities were all right inside the stadium, inside the indoor stadium. But the conditions, the children, it's a national sub-junior championship, so under 15 or 16. So the conditions these kids had to go through it was absolutely terrible. So I could see that there were the participants were not provided hotel rooms, so they were forced to stay in some building, which is some building near the stadium, which is not in use. There were some shops, unfinished. There were some shops which are not ready to be occupied. So what they did was they put these children inside these shopping complexes. There was no window for that, no door even, just a shutter. You see now how some shops are. They were made to stay there. No ventilation, no fan, nothing. And then, of course, there was no toilet. So what these kids used to do, even the girls, they had to go to the municipal bus stand nearby. So there you have to these toilets you can use by paying some 50 paise, 1 rupee. So they had to go to public toilet even to do even the basic things in the morning. And all this happened, I found out, when the central government was paying them a grant, and even the Kerala Sports Council, if I remember correctly, it's about 300 or 400 rupees per day, I guess. So that is more than enough to meet their expenses. Ironically, these national championship, the organizers, they were staying in star hotels, whereas the kids, these children, were provided virtually no accommodation, decent accommodation, that is. So I wrote about it with a big picture and all. And then, so when I wrote about it, the government conducted an inquiry, they stopped the grant. So I was very happy to, even the Sports Star magazine, I write, the Hindu, some of you may know that the Hindu has a sports magazine called Sports Star. So the Sports Star wrote an editorial on it, and my report was followed up by many television channels and other newspapers. So we were able to make some impact. So the next time any organizer conducted a tournament, they were very careful. So these are the things that, as a sports reporter, you could do, which will make an impact on sports and on society in general. And now, let's see how sport is viewed by a reporter, and how one could become a sports journalist. There was one interesting question I saw earlier. I will tell you how do you, if somebody who is watching wants to know how one could become a sports reporter, or if you want to tell somebody who close to you wants to get into sports reporting. I think one qualification was spelled out earlier by Dr. Kishore. If you want to be a sports reporter, you should have a good knowledge of sport. Ideally, you should be a sportsman. You should be a sportsman. Ideally, you should have played some sports also. It's not necessary that every sports reporter should play a test match, write about a test match. No, because you don't have to direct a movie to write a film review. But you should have a good, thorough knowledge. But mostly, I think most of the sports reporters come to the profession because they love sport and they have played sports at some level. I used to play chess at a decent level. I also used to play cricket, and those two other sports that I write about mostly these days. So you should have a good knowledge of the sport. You should have a real good interest, and you should be following sport, generally speaking, and especially you should be following the sport that you are specializing in even more closely. Then obviously you should have good writing skills because, as I said, you don't get much time at all to work on your report being a sports reporter. So you should have a good command of the language. And generally, you could see that the world over, some of the best writers in a newspaper would be sports writers because sports give you a lot of scope to use your language well. You could bring out the emotion, drama, lots of things happen during a game. So to bring that out to the reader, you should have a good command of the language. So that is also one necessary quality if you want to become a sports reporter. Then coming back to what all a sports reporter can do, besides writing a match report, or to write about the major scandals in sport, and how writing about those scandals, those malpractices in sport, can help improve the sport, can bring the culprit to justice. As a sports reporter, you should also be following grassroots level sports. That's very important. So you should never imagine that since I write about the IPL, the World Chess Championship, I write only big events. No, I cover every little sports that's happening in my district or state. I go to the ground to cover the district football or cricket championship or district league. I go for the state chess championship. I go for the district badminton championship. That's where you meet people, you meet the stars of tomorrow. And you should have an eye to spot the talent as well. If you see somebody, you should be able to judge whether he is good enough to progress to the next level. And it's also important to write about them at a young age. Don't wait them to write about them till they achieve greatness and fame. One of my fondest memories as far as reporting sports is concerned is writing about a little girl called Koneru Humpy. She was 9 when I met her for the first time. She had come to Calicut along with her father. They were playing in the same tournament. Chess is one sport where men and women can play in same tournament, where a 9-year-old can play the 50-year-old. So at that time, I was covering this national A championship, men's A championship, a national men's B championship. So there was this girl. I was naturally surprised to see a little girl playing this tournament along with her father. Then at that time, India had an excellent female player called Pallavi Shah. She's a very good player. She stopped playing now. She's living in the US now. But those days, she was one of India's brightest talents in women's chess. So since I've been covering chess for a while, so I was pretty close to her. So she one day asked me whether I had come across this girl called Humpy. I said, no, but I have seen her, but I haven't met her. Then she said, you can go and meet her. Maybe you can interview her because she's going to win the World Under-10 Championship later that year. So I found that very interesting. So when one player has so much faith in another player, so I met Humpy. I did an interview with her. And what Pallavi Shah said came true. Humpy went on to win the World Under-10 Championship. And that was probably the first ever report on Humpy in any newspaper, I guess. And now, I don't know whether if you follow chess, and if you do, Koneru Humpy, some 20 years later, after I wrote that report, is the women's world rapid chess champion. She's one of the greatest women players the world has ever seen. She's been the world number 2. And she has won so many tournaments. She has won even men's tournaments. So I was very happy that I was able to write about her when she was completely an unknown quantity. And also, I think I was probably one of the first, I was probably one of the first, or even not the first reporter to write about Sanju Samson. Sanju is a great player now. But I remember I wrote about Sanju when he scored a double hundred in some junior tournament many, many years ago. So as a sports reporter, you should be also on the lookout for the new young talent. And you should write about them. There are many, some senior journalists from regional dailies here, the retired ones from major newspapers. They sometimes called me up and said that, they come to know about through my reports or the reports in the Hindu about the youngest talents in Kerala, not in the popular Malayalam dailies. So that is one aspect of sports reporting, catching them young. you have to introduce them to the world, and it will be great encouragement for them as well, for the youngsters. Because I remember when I used to participate in sports, even how I remember how happy and thrilled I was to see my name in the newspaper, whether I won some chess championship or whether I was named in the district cricket team. So I know how much it means for a young sportsman or a young boy or girl doing in sports. How much it means to see their name in the paper. So as a sports reporter, so you should be able to identify young talents and write about them. And another thing for a sports reporter is also to bring into focus the unknown, the unsung heroes of sports, like coaches. There are some great coaches, but hardly we know about them. Once another favorite reporter of my own report, another report that I wrote is that still in memory, is about physical education. If a coach was from a coach, he's a Sai coach. When he retired, the money that he got from the Provident Fund, he, with that money, about I think it was 25 lakhs, he actually built a court. He built a volleyball court in his village. Imagine somebody doing that. So that was commitment. So I wrote about him. So those are the people who deserve to be known. And then the interesting fact is, when this man had to undergo a heart surgery, he did not have enough money with him because all his money he had spent on a volleyball court in his village to promote the sport there. So we have to highlight these things as well while reporting sports. I saw a message a little while about, I think it was about doping or something. Yeah, it is a major issue. It is one issue that India has to seriously think about. And I think there are reports coming on doping, but even there should be more reports, because I don't know whether you are aware of the fact that India is one of the top offenders when it comes to doping. So we may not be winning that many medals in Olympics or Commonwealth Games or Asian Games in athletics and weightlifting. Is two sports that where doping is very rampant. We may not be among the best countries, and the few occasions we are, like at the Commonwealth Championship, we are almost certain that within a few weeks you will know that they had doped their way. They had taken performance-enhancing drugs. So India, being a top nation, India is among the world's leaders in doping, is not something that should be proud about. And I think as a journalist, we should write more about that to discourage, because I know, since I write a lot about athletics as well, since I'm close to many athletes like P.T. Usha, I know that many of you know that she's from Kerala and she's from my district here, Calicut. She lives about 45 minutes from here. So I talked to many athletes, so they're all disappointed by the way doping is being practiced in India and how they're shielded by the powers that be. So yes, you're right. There should be more reporting on doping. Of course, doping is not just limited to India; it's a global phenomenon. So some of our greatest heroes, we have seen them turning into villains after they confess that they used to take drugs to win medals. I think that just about is the time allotted to me, I guess. Nearly 30 minutes. It's almost nearing 12 o'clock. So if you have any more questions, I would only be happy to answer them.
Questions, I think. So we have received questions from Mrs. Sridevi Ganachar about who will become sports reporter. What are the criteria of become a sports reporter?
Yeah, I think I had answered that question actually.
Yeah. Hope all the questions have answered.
Okay, then thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for your valuable time and knowledge shared with us regarding mass media and sports. So, dear participants, the feedback link will be given in the chat box. So, please fill it and submit to receive the certificates. So, now it's time to wind up our webinar. I request Lieutenant Sitaram Yamdi, Physical Education Director, Nehru Memorial College, Sulia, will express vote of thanks.
Good afternoon to all respected dignitaries and participants. I am Lieutenant Sitaram MD, Physical Education Director, Nehru Memorial College, Sulia. Take this opportunity to propose the vote of thanks. First and foremost, I thank Dr. K.V. Chidanand sir, President of Academy of Liberal Education, Sulia, for his constant support and guidance in organizing this webinar. Further, I extend my hearty thanks to Mrs. Shobha Chidanand, Treasurer, Architect Akshay Kesi, Director of Academy of Liberal Education, Sulia, for all-time encouragement in all activities of college. I would like to thank Dr. Kishore Kumar CK, Director, Department of Physical Education, Mangalore University, for his motivational words and guidance in organizing this webinar. I offer my sincere thanks to Mr. P.K. Ajit Kumar, Senior Correspondent, The Hindu, for enlightening all of us on impact of mass media on sports. I take this opportunity to thank Mr. Shrikant, Nodal Officer, Department of Collegiate Education, and Secretary, Physical Education Foundation of India, Karnataka Chapter, for his gracious word. Let me express my gratitude our beloved principal, Dr. Puvappa Kaniru, for his support to organize this webinar. We remain grateful to all the participants, technical team, staff of NMC. Once again, I thank you one and all. Let us promise ourselves to be safe, stay safe during this pandemic. Jai Hind. Thank you.
Dear participants, the feedback link will be sent to your mail ID. So please go through it, fill it for the certificate. Thank you.